My name is Klay James Enos. I'm a plein air painter, which means that I paint outdoors. So you have to understand that I'm always inspired by my environment, places I've been in the city. It's always connected to something real. You know, I don't create abstractions, I don't create from my imagination, but I find a lot of value in kind of the process between what I'm looking at, my presence in an actual physical place, and then also the canvas and what I can create between those three different spaces. I usually work with oil paint. I'm pretty consistent in that. I've dabbled in other things, from everything from like conceptual sculpture to a couple of gouache paintings. I've done studies for oil paintings with before, but usually I work pretty directly. I don't do a lot of drawing or pre-work. I always just work directly onto the canvas that I'm working on. And this style is kind of called alla prima, as the Italians would call it, because I paint direct onto the canvas without a lot of layering or letting layers dry. I like oils because even though a lot of people are bothered by how slowly they dry, you can kind of work direct while you're painting in one place and you don't have to worry about them drying on your palette. So everything is done right there. I put down basic line work and then I mix the colors right on site. And then a painting is done, usually in a single day. I tend to work pretty fast because I like that immediacy and the spontaneity of working in one sitting, in one session. Well, so I think that maybe this painting is the most interesting. This is a painting that's from a new series that I just started this year, which is a painting that's based on a couple of different random equations that I've used to create this painting. I like the idea that you might use technology to kind of shape the world of your painting while still having it be in a figurative mode. I used a random location generator to put a random point into in the city where I was going to paint. So it wasn't premeditated at all. I just went to that place. I happened to be in Washington Heights. And I also used a couple of other equations to decide what palette the painting had, what time I would start the painting, and also the dimensions of the canvas itself. So I'm kind of using these random equations, but at the same time, they're being broken by the willfulness of being an artist and making this actual scene that's representational. I kind of like that push-pull between the abstractions of these random concepts that come around the painting to the actual figurative painting itself. And I had a couple of interesting interactions while I was making this painting. The guy who was in this car, he had a very souped up SUV that he took off with his girl, and they came back. Actually, I was surprised a lot of people leave a painting and they never come back, and I kind of am left to finish it. But he came back and he was very excited about seeing himself in the painting. Another guy gave me stretcher bars out of his basement. I think there's a lot of interesting interactions that you can have as a plein air painter while you're just out there as an artist. People kind of, interact with you, and it really opens up art, I think, in ways that people can see it, in ways that they don't see it in galleries, for instance.